Hello, everybody. We are the geeks and the degenerates. I am Menzo. Sorry, I started for a bit. This is my forever co-host, Jum, and today we talk about 1997's Predator, the original film starring Arnold Schwarzenegger, and I can't believe I'm saying this, the late great Carl Weathers. It still feels a bit too soon. Um,
Agreed.
of course, there's Jesse Ventura, Shane Black, and a lot of other very muscly boys. You know.
In this very testosterone-filled horror movie.
Yeah,
Think what
yeah. I forgot to mention this in the thing video, but we are leading up to Alien Romulus with this lineup, and hopefully this becomes a monthly thing, seeing the progressions of this and Alien, and we'll incorporate Terminator 2 for the next month. But yeah, how did you first get introduced to the original Predator?
to the original, like I would say I just watched I just like pulled it up. I was like, I never seen the original Predator before. I just pulled it up one day, like back in 2019. Cause like I remember watching the Gary Busey one where they were in the snow, and like
All right.
yeah, I remember I really liked the 2010 one, but people say it was shit, and I was like, what you mean? I really like it. Because it was cool. We had Adrian Brody and everything. And then I was like, alright, like, as the pandemic was like coming up, and I was like, what's one thing I haven't seen? And I was like, oh, the original Predator. And I was like, oh, yeah, because I've seen original Alien, but I haven't seen original Predator. So I was like, might as well give it a watch. And I was like, oh, this is where all the memes come from.
Right.
You know? Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
Like the you son of a bitch.
Yeah. Dylan, you son of a bitch. I was like, yeah.
Yeah.
And the amount of biceps, I was like, got you push pencils.
Right? Yeah, like you, I saw other Predator movies before this one. Like I even saw Alien versus Predator and like Predators before this
Yeah.
one. So I'm like, I think it was because the new the Predator with guy from Narcos was coming out, and I'm like, all right, more Predator.
Yeah.
I gotta see the
Yeah, it
original.
was horrible. It was horrible.
Yeah. Hopefully, if we do this weekly, monthly lineup properly, we'll get to that before we get to Alien Romulus. Who knows?
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, the needless to say, this is a timeless classic. But 2018's version is so fucking lame. Like Jesus Christ. But that's neither here or there. But yeah, I forgot to mention this. Directed by John McTiernan, who did Die Hard after, and yeah, it stars some of the best action heroes of the 80s, like Carl Weathers and Arnold Schwarzenegger, Jesse Ventura, and Fred Russ. But yeah, and it starts out like if you've never seen this, you're like, am I just watching beefy men do a buy bus or a drug bus?
Right. And like that was the thing. They go into Colombia or like some mid South American like country,
Yeah,
and just like going into the wilderness and just being the muscular of muscular special forces men
yeah,
that they are. And I'm like, and like you see, what's his name again? The bald guy that was like shaving in the cop.
Mac.
Mac. He's probably the one that made me the most uncomfortable because he was just straight up just dry shaving. I was just like, and like that's his way of like calming himself down. But I was like, homie, you're wrecking your skin. Please stop. Like I know you're trying to be a tough guy, but don't do that.
Right.
And then it gets to a point where he snaps it and he cuts himself. I'm like, anyway, sorry. That's like the least goriest thing here. But yeah, they meet up with Dylan, and they're like, hey, we're going into this like camp to like, what was the purpose of them going to this camp?
To rescue hostages.
Right.
Yeah.
They're gonna rescue hostages, and they needed somebody who had like expertise, and that's Dutch, played by Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Yeah.
And well, the entire time, I do love it. Like, you do hear the Predator.
Yeah.
Like at some points where they're just like roaming around, and there'll be like, oh, that's just like a bird or like a like a woodpecker, the
Yeah.
one making all those clicking sounds. I was like, I think that might be the predator.
Right? And then you get the whole sting operation, and it turns out to be all bullshit. You tricked us, Dylan. You're like, all right, I guess this is the drama. Sure.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah,
and like, cause Dylan is just following orders, and like, Dutch doesn't agree with them. Also, I forgot to mention they found some of the hostages and comrades get like skinned alive, and you're like,
Yeah.
is that the work of the perpetrators,
cartel?
the cartel, or is
Yeah.
that the work of the predator? Seems like the predator. Jesus Christ, you have your
Yeah.
hands full.
Look, like I think the start of like the first 30 to 40 minutes of this entire movie is just like a regular action movie,
Yeah.
like Arnie's, action movie,
Yeah,
where they just shoot with like a gun that has an infinite amount of bullets,
yeah,
and they're just having fun, like pulling pins of grenades off their teeth, tossing it into a building or a hut,
yeah,
and I'm like, yeah, we're just having fun, and then out of nowhere, one of them just gets picked off.
yeah. Shane Black gets picked off because he's chasing that one hostage they have, and he gets
Yeah,
Wolverined, and you're like, what the fuck was he hit by? Jesus Christ.
right.
Yeah,
I do love the kills here. Again, nothing. I, I really want them to bring back. It is doable.
yeah,
It's not like, oh, they don't make him like they used to. They can. They
Yeah.
really can.
yeah. Like if you see
they-
in the modern Prey movie, you're like, Jesus Christ, I knew you still had it in you.
Yeah, right. Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah,
I forgot that was. I forgot that was a Predator movie. Yeah, like they're finally coming back. I love that.
yeah,
But yeah, yeah, I'm so happy like they still had it in them.
yeah,
Because like this shit is great. The kills here are great, and then you're seeing people getting filleted. And I'm like, oh my god, that's horrible.
like
And you just like take a photo. I'm just like,
I love the fact that it's not, even though the Predator could easily like Rogue One them, he doesn't. It just takes its time, and you're like, all right. It was funny that when he's trying to fix the bullet hole left by, I think it was by Billy, like he has a modern day, like human
oh yeah,
sewing
yeah, he
kit,
has like a regular like medical kit. I was
Yeah.
like, where'd you get that?
right? He's like, I have to work with what they gave me. Shit. Oh well.
Yeah.
Fucking humans are so fucking primitive. Jesus Christ.
Actually, that'll be a good story though. Like that'll, like he was able to like identify that this is human, like medical supplies.
Yeah.
Just probably it. Who knows? But
Yeah.
it was very like human standard. I'm like, I thought you guys were like an advanced species.
Right? I do love the suit, like the classic 1987 suit. Like it was designed by Stan Winston, or Sam Winston, I forgot his name, but that he did a shit ton of practical effects. Like he was the original choice to do Jurassic Park. If you've ever seen the stop motion Jurassic Park videos, that's his work, and you're like, huh,
Yeah.
and I think he did work on the animatronics of Jurassic Park as well. So if you see Predator in Jurassic Park, you're like, that's the same guy. I think he also did E.T. Correct? Comments, please correct me if I'm wrong. But yeah,
Well, I guess if they did like Jurassic Park pretty well, or like if wait no, E.T. came before Jurassic Park.
yeah,
Yeah, for sure. Like Steven Spielberg would be like, get that guy who did that little funny alien.
yeah. I haven't seen E.T. in the ages though. But anyway, but yeah,
Yeah, I remember I didn't like it. I don't know. I think it's too ugly. People say it was cute, but it's too ugly.
going back to, yeah, I agree. Anyway, going back to this one, like it just picks them off one by one. And you're like, even though nowadays you're like, you could easily end this movie by 20 minutes and be fine.
Yeah.
But like I do like it just showcasing its abilities. Like it just shoots Mac in the head and just blows the back of his head. You're like, what the
Yeah.
fuck is that? Jesus Christ.
Excuse me. And like you also see like, by the way, I love this entire scene, and they told us how they did it. Was when the entire team just started like barraging the jungle,
Yeah.
and to make it like look like it was being riddled with bullets,
Yeah.
they had like a hot wire go through the entire like forest.
Oh, that's smart. That's cool.
Yeah.
That's dope.
So like it was cutting down all the trees and all the foliages as
Yeah.
if like it was being shot down by a gun.
Yeah.
So, kind of cool.
And as you said, all those videos ago, like 80s gore hits differently. Like when Carl Weathers has his arm separated and it's still firing, and you're like, what the fuck?
Like it is kind of obvious. Like he kind of has like his other arm tucked into his like vest,
Yeah.
and this thing just like falls off.
Yeah.
He's like, ah! And then of course it's so cool because like the gun's still shooting,
Yeah.
even though it was detached.
Yeah, and yeah, it's not like the boys like do it just like it's not overly gory. It's just like yeah, that's what happens when you go against a predator, the predator.
Yeah.
And again, like you get the classic lines like get to the chopper, do it now, kill me. Like I do like predators.
You ugly motherfucker.
Yeah, I do like predators too, but I don't know. Arnold Schwarzenegger does it better. Adrian Brody sounds like he watched The Dark Knight. He's like, I can do that. Envy Schwarzenegger. It's like, what the fuck? Yeah. If it please. Exactly. And like it's such a
Daddy Trejo. Sorry. Go on.
fuck. I forgot he was in the movie.
Yeah.
But yeah, I do like the last act too. Like it's a very unique last act. It's not like the whole squad versus this one thing. It's just the one guy being like, I have to stop it. Like the thing, it's like I have to be the last defense because if it gets to like civilization, we are fucked beyond belief.
But that's not the point of the Predator. Well, I guess of course they did that, but like
Yeah.
I love the concept of the Predator. I'm not sure if we talked about it already with the Prey movie.
I'm
But-
sure we did.
Yeah, but like the thing has like
An honor system.
yeah, an honor system. He's not there to just like kill willy nilly.
Yeah.
He's like picking out which one's like the best fight. And I don't think they're there to like conquer anything. They're just like, I want a good hunt.
Yeah.
You know?
Hence the name. Like he wouldn't kill the one hostage he has because he's like, that's not sport. She's defenseless. I can't kill that.
Yeah.
It's not in my honor system. But like when she gets a gun, he's like, all right, I guess it's game on. Arnold and Dutch is like, no, don't do that.
I remember that.
I do love the one scene where Billy tries to fend it off. He's just like cuts something across his chest, and you're like,
Yeah. Like he's like trying to feel alone. It's just like he's like at a crossroads of like this like wooden bridge.
yeah,
No, sorry, not a crossroads. But yeah, it was like a river and there was a wooden bridge, and he's like, I'll hold them all. Like he is the guy who's like, so in the trees, you know.
yeah,
And I love Billy. Yeah, like the dude gets absolutely
wrecked.
well. Yeah, I mean he is the head that gets like pulled out of his spine and just like that's a trophy now.
Yeah, and you're just like, I've seen videos of how they did that in the 80s, and you're like, yeah, they definitely don't make them how they used to. Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
It's such a unique scene too when the thing just pulls his spine and head off clean and just roars. You're like, holy fuck, Jesus Christ.
And I love it that like when Billy was laughing at that really corny joke.
Yeah,
Fuck, what's his name?
Shane Black.
Shane Black did, and it started copying his laugh,
Yeah,
and it just got really creepy.
yeah. Like, like,
Yeah.
please stop. Yeah,
Like I'm good with the whole like I'll pass on the whole demonic Santa, please.
right. I do love it when it reveals its face. You see how intricate this practical effect is. You're like, holy fuck! How long did you guys take to make that fucking thing?
Yeah, and I did love it that this was a boss fight.
Yeah,
Like yeah, like the entire team's like getting gunned down. That one, I found it funny because like what was his name? Was it Mac? The one that was shaving?
yeah,
Yeah. Like he sticks his head out of the log and it just gets obliterated. I'm like, well, he's not gonna be in Rush Hour 3. Like that kind of deal. I'm like, all right.
yeah. Neither is the guy chewing tobacco. Ah, he froze.
Jesse Ventura's character. Sorry.
Yeah, Jesse Ventura's character. Like, well, at least cancer didn't kill you first. It was the predator.
Yeah, like, I love it that like there was just a hole in him.
Yeah.
I love this entire style. Like the dude was wearing an MTV like ripped off shirt and
Yeah.
everything. And I was like, I don't know. This entire style, it was just like it was just a vibe, you know, and a very testosterone-filled vibe, and it kind of broke the norm as well for the like around that time because usually horror movies they would stick with like defenseless victims up against this unstoppable force, kind of like with Michael Myers, Jason Voorhees.
Mm-hmm.
But these are very capable men. These people would like probably eat you for breakfast, kind of men, and like, and they're getting eliminated. And I'm like, that's kind of what like makes the Predator a bit more intimidating. Is that these guys are supposed to protect us, or like they're supposed to be capable of protecting us, but they can't.
Yeah, they're supposed to be the best of the best, and they're getting
Yeah,
wrecked. Uh,
yeah,
and like it's just Arnold Schwarzenegger who manages to outsmart it, because like he knows it wants to hunt. At the end, he's like, "Come on, kill me! I'm here. Do it now!" And you're like, "All right." Uh,
yeah. And like the entire fight, clearly you saw like the Predator was like the strongest one.
yeah,
Like I love that the Arnie was being tossed around. He wasn't like toe to toe with it. He was not toe to toe with that thing.
yeah. He's like, "Oh, I am out of my league." Shit.
Yeah, so like of course he had to be a bit smarter about it. So he's like covering himself with mud. He's like using a bow and arrow because he's out of ammo,
Yeah,
and he does a Tarzan howl for some reason. But okay,
sure. I mean, it's the '80s. You gotta make some exceptions for the big beefy man. You gotta you gotta feel this moment. Uh, so it's a clever ending, especially when like the thing decides like, you know what? If I'm gonna die, you're gonna die too. Fuck you,
and it starts laughing. I was like, that is so cool.
right? And you see how big the explosion is too. You're like, well, if Arnold wasn't fast enough, it would have wiped him out of existence. Shit.
Pretty much, it was a small nuclear bomb.
Yeah. Uh, and yeah, it literally is an '80s movie mixed with a survival horror movie, which is a perfect blend for the '80s, I would think. And yeah, it's a classic for a reason. And there's some moments where you're like, that's kind of out of date when Jesse Ventura was like calling out the men for not chewing tobacco, and they're like, we don't want to do that. He's like, you guys are just sissies. You are not like real men. You're like,
He did
okay.
not say that.
Did not say that, but I have to paraphrase.
Yeah, like, it's a product of its time, and like I still do love it, and it's like I don't know, it's just fun seeing how 80s horror movies were done back in the day,
Yeah.
and yeah, there's no exception. So yeah, it was all fun, especially at the end where like yeah, he gets out, fights the thing, and yeah, he makes it up.
Yeah. But yeah, what would you rate the original Predator?
I would rate the original Predator. I'll give it like I'll give it an 8. You know, like I fairly enjoyed it, and for sure it was a staple for
Yeah.
for like a lot of like action horror.
Yeah.
Kind of the same thing with like Doom. Sadly, that was horribly done. Yeah, like I do love the trope of like special forces, people who are like the best of the best, and getting absolutely annihilated by this one thing is such interesting and like an interesting concept
Yeah.
for a movie. And like yeah, I just had fun the entire time and how creative the kills were. And you kind of want to get into the lore of the species of the predator as like as soon as you see like maybe 2010's predators were like they kind of delved in deep with like the economy
Yeah.
of the predators. I'm like, all right, cool, or like the hierarchy.
Yeah, and
Like,
I fairly do like that movie. Like, I don't know why people don't like
Lawrence
it.
Fishburne was there.
Yeah. If it wasn't just Adrian Brody's copying The Dark Knight, I would like it more.
Yeah, and like you gotta give it up to Prey on this one.
Yeah.
Like I think they're in my opinion, the proper spiritual successor to Predators or
Yeah.
Predator. You know, like,
Yeah.
this was really good. This was really fucking
Yeah.
good. I'm talking about Prey.
You know what? I'll give this. No, I'll give this a 9. I fairly do like this movie a lot. Like, I will put it on once in a while to be like, you know what? I would like a action horror survival movie. Actually, this, oh, to be honest, it leans more to action than horror, but yeah. And just the performances of Arnold Schwarzenegger to Carl Weathers is excellent, and like, just seeing how great Carl Weathers is in an action movie, you're just like, damn, this guy was an action star of his time, from Rocky to this, to even stuff like, I forgot the movie he had with Adam Sandler. Was it Billy Madison or Happy Gilmore?
I haven't seen both of those in a very long time, so I'll get back into you on that.
Yeah, I'll just put the poster up, whichever one it is. But yeah, very good action, very great actors, very good story and how they handled it. And yeah, 9 out of 10. And like, I do agree with you that Prey is the successor to like this and Predators. Just you're like, after a long time, you're like, I finally knew it. I knew you still had it in you, boy. Please.
Good job. And now we're kind of getting. I mean, it's like being advised to go with this theme of like, yo, make the Predator come back, like go to like the 1700s where it's like the Civil War, and of course they had to deal with that thing.
Yeah.
Or like go back to samurai times.
I saw that
all
pitch
that jazz.
from Twitter that make the Predator go back to medieval Japan and have Hiroyuki Sanada be a Ronin, trying to restore his honor. You're like, oh, all right, I would watch the shit out of that.
Yeah, so like it'll be sick. I love this entire concept. Like we don't. I don't like it that we were trying to like bring back the Arnie version.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, like regular people, modern day guns. All that. Nah, that was the fun part about Prey was that it tried to be creative with all the stuff they had. Those bow and arrows, hatchets, and all that shit up against an absolute beast. So
Yeah.
I would like more of that, please.
And instead of 2018s where they have this bad take of like, maybe some specific people have it more than others. You're like, what the fuck are you talking about? Stop it.
Yeah, you are now the apex predator if you have this. And I'm like, well, I guess.
I think you're trying to say something good, but you're phrasing it horribly. Can you shut up?
Yeah, right. No, like, I don't know if you're kind of like presenting it very well.
Right. Anyway, again, we'll get to that maybe by the time Alien Romulus rolls out. But until then, yeah, the 1987 version is a very good classic. Like, it goes along with other 80s action like Aliens and of course The Thing. Really, you don't like the original Dune? You don't like Sting being the original Fade Rauta?
I'm gonna rewatch it. Let's rewatch it. Like let's look at it again and compare it to the first two movies.
Well, that's unfair. Because the two movies are masterclass.
Oh, well, that's what you want, don't you?
Right. If we have time, we'll go back to that version. Yeah, why not?
Yeah.
But yeah, do you have anything to add before we wrap this up?
Nah.
But yeah, again, that's been a video for the original Predator. What do you guys think? What's your favorite entry into this franchise? Is it the one with Gary Busey? Is it Alien versus Predators 1 or 2? Is it Predators? Is it Prey? Whatever it is, comment down below. If you like our videos, please leave them a like, subscribe, and ding the bell icon to get notified of when we upload next. We're also on Spotify and TikTok to see our best and funniest moments, Spotify to hear us on the go. Individually, I am Zoda's Voices on TikTok. Maybe I can do some Gary Busey or Arnold Schwarzenegger there one of these days.
I was like, dude, why not just do the fucking Predator?
Don't know how to. It's like the
just do like if you got like an Arnie figure and a Predator figure, just go nuts, donuts.
Alright. And I'm Enz Wolf on Letterboxd. Where can they find you?
You can find me at JeromGM on Instagram. It is Marco.
And we have one more video for this week, which is, of course, Alien 3. So, good luck to us. But yeah, until then, we'll see you there. Bye, everybody.
Ciao.